for doing that. But we all have to be soldiers in this fight. And when you say, well, it's really too hard, I said, look, a parent has to have strength and fortitude to defend their own children, my God. And this film is something where when you watch it, you learn how routinely it occurs. You also learn the warning signs. That's good for the public. It weaponizes that individual, the parent or whoever that watches this film. But when, the chips are down, when God asks you, in this film you see it, when can we love our children more than we fear evil? When God tells you to do something, you don't hesitate. God's children are no longer for sale.
Thank you so much again, Tyler O'Neill with Daily Signal. I had Tim Ballard and Jim Caviezel, and sharing such an important story, such an important movie, The Sound of Freedom.
It's over, Tim. Close up, get on the plane, and come back home.
Bureaucracy, shit. This is why I operate black. Have a nice flight, Timoteo.
You were a cartel guy.
Yeah?
Kept your mouth shut, did your time. Could have picked up where you left off. Bought yourself a condo on the beach. Instead, you're doing this. Why?
Really? I had that condo on the beach. 15th floor, marble everything, overlooking the whole bay. First night out of jail, I slept in my own bed. Day 2, I was back in business. Same old life. But it doesn't feel right. Not the drugs, not the hookers. But damn it, if I didn't keep trying. So, one night, I'm leaving a bar all jacked up on coca, and I notice this young girl on the corner, fine looking, maybe 20, 25. Take her up to my place, we do the deed, pay the bill. She's putting on her shoes, and I notice something. I notice her foot. She's got these little pink cat faces painted on her toenails. And it hit me. She's not 25. And she glances up and her eyes connect. And it was like I was granted a glimpse into her soul. And all I saw was sadness. Out of nowhere, she starts talking. Turns out she's not 25, not even 20. This girl is 14 years old, Timoteo. She's been doing it since she was 6. Looks at me, smiles, takes the money, walks out the door. All of a sudden, I'm hit by this tidal wave, this tsunami of darkness. And I know I'm the sadness in her eyes. Me. I'm the darkness. And I know the darkness has to die. So I get my 45. Put it to my head. Put my finger on the trigger. Now, if there is a time to ask if God exists, that would be it. So I did. When God tells you what to do, you cannot hesitate.
An estimated 2 million children are trafficked every year, and we can help them. Sound of Freedom is based on a true story about real-life heroes saving kids from the dark world of child trafficking. We know this is heartbreaking and it hurts to look at, but the first step in helping these children is hearing their story. Not enough people know this problem exists, and even fewer people are willing to do anything about it. Our goal is to inspire 2 million people to attend the film's opening weekend, to represent the 2 million trafficked children around the world. To spread the word, Angel Studios set up a Pay It Forward program where you can pay for someone else's ticket who might not otherwise see it. If the ticket price is stopping you from attending, claim your free ticket at angel.com/freedom. Sound of Freedom opens the week of July 4th. Every parent, every adult, and every teenager in America should be there to see it. If millions of us come together today to see this film, we could propel the movement to help save millions of children around the world. And you can send the message that God's children are no longer for sale.
It's to be here with you both to talk about Sound of Freedom. And we know that both of you are very frequently depicted in movies that affect change. They're not just entertainment. Can you tell us, Jim, what do you want this movie, how do you want it to affect our culture?
All right, let's start with my own children. My wife and I adopted 3 children from China, and I became very well aware of the dangers that children go through globally, even through the orphanage program. Next step is this man called me up, said, do you want to do something that really can light things up? Now I'm going to go back to the Passion of the Christ. I saw what that did to this world globally. And it was a very difficult film. And obviously, we took a lot of fluff putting that thing out. But it did a great amount of good. And it went against the media's narrative. This one is also part of that, because it's going against what's going down at the border. I said this over and over again. If you don't have a border, a south border, you don't have a country. By the rules, sovereign country, you have to have borders. We don't have a southern border. It points a big light on grooming. A lot of that going on in the United States right now. Laws that are just abortion, killing a baby 27 days after they're born. All of this is a war on our children, and the public ain't happening. Don't want this happening any longer. And so all of that, when we came to Washington, many of them asked me, well, what can I do for you? Once we were done talking, I said, we want to help you. We want to give you a weapon, and this is what it is. And so now we have guys like Elon Musk that are coming in and helping us out. Ivanka Trump just tweeted the other day, and this is growing. It's a big, big movement, and it really is fighting for the survival of our country, our republic, especially for our children, that God's children are no longer for sale.
And not every project is successful when it takes this, when it comes from this standpoint that you're coming from, that God has a say in what's going on and that matters. Why do you think that this project has been successful already?
Mother Teresa said, we are not called to be successful. We are called to be faithful to God. That is our success. Now, if you're faithful to God and success comes, it's a blessing. Let's use that success to change the world. But if it doesn't come, if it doesn't come, don't compromise your faith. Don't compromise your values. Don't compromise your integrity in order to obtain what the word then success is, because that success doesn't come from God. So almost 20 years ago, I made a promise to God that I would never use my talents again to do anything that would offend my faith, my family, or my Latino culture. And after I made that promise, I was in Los Angeles, California. I ended up not working for 4 years because every single thing that I got offered was exactly about the things that I promised I would never do. So I had to turn them down. And that's why I was led to open a production company, because as an actor, I didn't have the power to control the message. And I was tired of waiting for a role that will portray a man as a real man. And that's why I became a producer. My first movie that I produced with Alejandro Monteverde and Leo Severino was a movie called Bella. The best part of Bella is not that it won the Toronto Film Festival. The best part of Bella is all the emails and letters and phone calls that I receive every day till today of women who were pregnant, scheduled to have an abortion, and after seeing the movie Bella, by the grace of God, they decided to keep their babies. They changed their minds. Thousands of babies are being saved. Thousands that we know of. God knows how many more. I hope millions. So when you are part of a film that has the potential not only to entertain, but to save human lives, that's success for me. So when I met Tim Ballard 8 years ago in Los Angeles, California, meeting a real hero in real life inspired you. I was very inspired. But at the same time, when I learned what he was doing with his friends, traveling around the world undercover, rescuing children who were kidnapped for sexual exploitation, it broke my heart when he explained to me with details what these children are going through, the pain of these children. I couldn't look the other way around. And I said to him, I asked many questions. First of all, when he told me that this is a global problem, especially U.S. and Mexico. U.S. is the #1 consumer of child sex in the world. Mexico, #1 provider. 60% of child pornography that is consumed in the world is produced in Mexico. Then I realized, hold on a second, I was born in Mexico. I love my country. I'm Mexican. I love USA. I love America because this country, United States, opened the door to my dreams. This nation has been such an amazing blessing in my life. It's like having a father and mother. You love them both. So how can we work together, American, Mexicans, working together to save the children through a bilateral effort, through art? Plato said, if I have to choose between art and politics to govern a nation, he said, I will choose art because art has the power to touch people's hearts and change their minds. Therefore, how they think, how they live, how they behave, well, I don't have to choose. We can combine art, politics, ethics to serve the nations. That's what this film is. So when I asked him, if this is a big problem, especially U.S. and Mexico, U.S. is the most powerful country in the world. You have the money, you have the technology, the intelligence, the army, the police, everything. How come we don't finish this problem? And he said, because it's not a priority. How can we turn this into priority then? We need a movement. We need a movement. And that's when I realized, you know what? We have a weapon of mass instruction and inspiration. Movies. Movies move people. Media influence how people think. Let's make a movie. I put pause in everything that I was doing so I can dedicate my entire life thinking like, what if this is my son? What if my son is missing? What would I do? I will put pause in everything that I'm doing. I will hope that the world will pause. The entire world will pause in everything they're doing so they can help me to find my child. So that's my motivation. Let's make this movie a movement. And it's been 8 years of my life working in this project for 2 hours of your life, of your time, which is what this movie lasts. And the best part is when I asked Tim Ballard, who do you want to play you? The script is ready. And he said, Jesus Christ. Hermano, this is too expensive. I don't think Jesus will come here to play, to be an actor. No. The guy who plays Jesus Christ, Jim Caviezel in The Passion of Christ. Okay, I think we can afford him. But you know what? For him, it was not even about the money. When we met with him and he read the script and when he learned what we were trying to do, he said, guys, this is more personal to me than for you. This is my life. I will dedicate my life to end child trafficking. I'm in. What's next? And he's been in since day one. And I know he will be like that until the end of his life. This guy's a warrior. He's a hero for millions of people. And he's leading by example, because a lot of people told us this is too dangerous. James, this is too dangerous. Eduardo, this is too dangerous. Really? It's more dangerous not to do it in the long term, because when God asks you to do something, you cannot look the other way around. And we're just answering this calling, and we're happy to be here with you in Washington. This city is so important, because if you touch this city, you touch the world. Because the most important decisions that are made in the city affect the destiny, not only of America, of the world, if not forever, for many years.
And we here in Washington are very aware of the fact that we don't have this art that you're talking about that can change the culture so much. And so when we see projects like this, we recognize how valuable and impactful these projects can be. I'm curious, what has been the response from Hollywood or the movie world to this project? We've heard so many stories about Hollywood abuse of children and child actors and things like that. Have you found a strong reception out west?
This is really directed to him. He's our producer. I wanted to say one thing that he did. When you have something like A Passion of the Christ, or this is the best film I've done since The Passion of the Christ, you're going to have hell come at you. And, if right is right, that you do the right thing, come hell or high water. That's what you got to do. And that's what faith really is, this was no different. We're down there and we're filming, and he gets in we're lost our money, and we would have been shut down. And he basically put this film on his back, and not only that, got us out of that trouble. When the movie came out, it was like, okay, now it all begins. So once we got out, we had an amazing film. They edited it. Then you have these guys watching this, and they're not going to be, okay, this might be the right. Listen, if this was Schindler's List, that was 50 years later. Okay, this is Schindler's List now, and this time we made it during this time now, and the individuals that are not going to carry their cross are going to look at this and go, okay, that's yours. We don't want anything to do with it. And he had to bear that burden, and he's had to hold it for quite a long time, or we would never got this out.
It's amazing.
Yeah, when we finished it 8 years, it's been 8 years of work, but we finished the movie 5 years ago. And I thought, finally, okay, now this movie is going to see the light. It's going to raise awareness, because my number one goal is to raise awareness. Alejandro Monteverde, who is a genius director, he's the writer and the director of this film. First of all, I'm so honored to be surrounded by amazing Michelangelos, like this guy, incredible actor, but more important, big heart. Alejandro Monteverde, Tim Ballard. It's amazing, but our number one goal is to raise awareness, because a lot of people, they don't even know that this problem exists. How can you become a solution if you don't even know that this problem exists in the first place, right? So we need to raise awareness. Millions of people, they need to see this film. So I thought it's going to be very simple and easy. Let's go to Netflix so we can reach the entire world. This is not for us. And they passed. Wow. Okay, Amazon. This is not for us. And passed.
Amazon and Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yes, and many more for 3 years. This is not for us. That's what I heard.
All right. I can say one thing. I showed it in Vegas, and there was 5 screenings, about 1,500 people that saw it. During the 5 screenings, each screening, there was talking going on. And I was like watching the audience going, what? The second time it happened. Again, third time, talking in this one particular spot. And I'm thinking, what, did we do something wrong or something? But so then one more time it happened. At the end, I was asking about the movie, and I asked them about that one particular part where everybody's talking, and they all cried out Epstein Island. And I went, oh, okay. Now I understand what we're up against. Epstein Island isn't the only sex island out there. And Tim Ballard takes down one in the film.
And there's many people involved in this crime in every sector. Political sector, worldwide, here, Mexico, worldwide. This is a global problem.
It's an elite problem.
And Hollywood too. I'm not saying everyone, because he lives in LA. I used to live in LA. There's a lot of great people there who are fighting, but the guys who are like at very top.
Are there ones we don't know about?
Well, you have to.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm not an agent, but there are with the power of this film. Why they're scared of this film is because, look at the Passion of the Christ. This is amazing. It was pushed by the people, and at one point, two different individuals went and watched the movie. Both of these guys got away with murder, and they turned themselves in after that movie. Now, this movie has a power because it goes into your heart and it asks you a question. When this is all done, what do you get? And what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to meet God at some point. And I believe it's going to move a lot of whistleblowers to come forward, but not one. In the hundreds, maybe thousands of them worldwide start coming forward and telling the truth of what's really going on. And that will bring an end to this whole thing.
Yeah. And this is very important because we are against Goliath. Disney is coming the same day, the week of July 4th, Independence Day, freedom, right? Yeah, we should celebrate freedom in one hand, but on the other hand, there's a lot of kids, a lot of children that won't be able to celebrate freedom. We need to do something to bring freedom back to them. So we have this film that today we received a great news. Now we're in 2,400 theaters. Our goal is more than 3,000 theaters. We started in 1,000. So there's something, some momentum going on right now. And so we're like the little David, the underdog against Goliath, only with the help of the people.
Yes.
If you will become one David, we know the end of the story. We know what happened to Goliath. It's up to you. It's up to the audience. Up to the people. Right now, they're answering amazing. The ticket sales are growing and growing and growing, and
we're out selling by 25%. I mean, we're nothing, but the people are with us, and we're outselling Indiana Jones right now by 25%. It's extraordinary, and we're now starting to add screens, but it's really important that people go buy the tickets now, because if they do, like the Passion, they started adding several thousand ice glitters, right? And so the point is July 4th of July, can we give those children back their freedom on our Independence Day? We have a darkness around us right now. We could lose our republic. Are we going to let our children go? And that's a question, and people have to answer. And I think they're onto this. And the way things are going to be done now, it's going to be changed from this point on. There's going to be a new direction in this country.
Yeah,
people aren't buying the media like they used to, because the stuff that happened on Hunter Biden laptop. Okay, 2 years you told us not true. Okay, I believe you. You're the media, but then it's true. And then for 7 years we learned that Donald Trump is a Russian spy. Well, that's wrong. Thank you, media, for telling us that. But then now Durham report drops. He's not a Russian spy. Okay, that's 80% in the last 7 years that you told us is all false. So the public is going, no, you don't have the power you used to. And it's the same thing with me as an actor. A lot of movie stars, Joseph Goebbels back in the day, people put their hand up to the swastika in order to work. I got to work. I love the sound of music. You know why? Because the Von Trapp father had those children. He's looking at his friends, and they're all willing to take a break today at McDonald's on the Third Reich camp. What does it matter if it's going to happen, as long as it didn't happen to you? And he goes off on that, his friend Max. Sometimes I don't even know you. And he's looking at his kids, and he realizes, what is all of this power worth anyway if I go and work for Satan? And he packs up and takes his family and leaves. An extraordinary thing of faith. We need more people like this. And we met a lot of them today. Oh yeah, they're awesome.
And look what is happening in the border right now. Where is Joe Biden? Why? How come these guys are not in the border? How come the government of Mexico? How come Lopez Obrador is not in the border trying to save the children? They don't care or they're involved. Both are wrong. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but we're so grateful to both of you for sharing this story and for coming to speak with us. Thank you so much.
God bless. God bless you. Thank you.
Yes, but before we leave, you know, it's an honor for us to be here in front of so many warriors, prayer warriors. So, as you know, there is many people in government worldwide involved in this crime. I have to make a decision, a very important decision very soon. I'm thinking about it, I'm praying about it. I may run for president of Mexico. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, I'm not a politician. I'm a filmmaker. But I love my country. And I'm tired to see how my country's been raped for decades. So again, I only want to do God's will. I'm going to make this decision very soon. If it is God's will for me to do it, please pray for me. Pray for Mexico, because I believe that we can make America and Mexico great together. God bless you.